So, Chavi, we have all seen you as an actor, and then your movement to digital platforms and OTT happened. So, what was your motivation?
To move to OTT?
Yeah.
Well, I think as an actor, um, I felt like I'm restricting myself, and there's a lot more that I can do in life. I wanted to, give myself a chance at some point in life, and I think that impetus that I got happened when I became a mother the first time, and I realized that by just being an actor, and especially a television actor in Mumbai, I don't know how it happens across the globe, but in Mumbai, we need to work like 40 to 15 hours a day and 30 days a month. I call it 40 days a month. And with that kind of commitment towards your work, it's practically impossible to be the kind of mother that I wanted to be. And I think
Right.
it's also very unfair to a child when you bring the person into the world and cannot give them the commitment that they deserve. So I decided that it was time to take a step forward. At that point in life, I didn't know that this was actually going to be a step forward for me. I just wanted to do something different, something which would be able to give me the creative satisfaction that I was sort of feeling stagnated with as an actor. And something that would also give me the kind of time that I wanted to spend with my daughter. Now, it was a very conscious choice that I had made, that I'm not going to quit working altogether just to be with her, but I wanted to strike the correct balance in her life and mine, and that's how I started SIT. And it was a bit of luck, I would say, and also a lot of love from the audience
Right.
that were watching our content, that we realized that it's something good that we are doing here, and we got the encouragement to take it forward.
That's actually very relatable, Chavi. And that is a theme that came across in all the conversations that I had, be it you being an actor or, there are these leading lawyers who I've interviewed in the book, and they took a year off when they got pregnant. And back then, the maternity leave was not 6 months as we have now. And they said, we had to make those choices. Or there is this Padma Shri winning scientist who I've interviewed in the book, and she says, Nishtha, I chose not to have kids because I wanted to prove myself as a scientist. And she's like, that's a sad choice for a woman to make, but at least I made that choice on my own terms. So, what I'm hearing from this is as long as women make these choices on their own terms, it is the right choice for them. You should not
Yeah,
be like, forced into it. Similarly, like what you
absolutely.
did, your choice on your own terms. So I'll move on to the next question, again related to motherhood. So I remember that you beautifully weaved in your pregnancy in the episodes on SIT. And coincidentally, so when you were pregnant, even I was expecting my first child then back in 2019. And I used to be in awe of those episodes, how you managed it so well. So, what was your experience like? And because why I ask this is also, which is important for our listeners to know, many women during their pregnancy are told to take it light, or just rest a little. Or even the interviews that I had, there were women who were like, we were told, okay, just move away from your important PNL bearing roles, take it light. So, did you face those challenges, and how did you tackle that?
Oh yes, absolutely. There were I was literally trolled in the beginning when I was working um I was literally taking care of everything that I was before I got pregnant. And if I may say so, I started doing a lot extra when I became pregnant in terms of work. And I got a lot of people who would tell me that, you should take a back seat and you should rest. And why do you go to office? And why do you shoot? And why do you do this, that, and the other? And especially gymming, because I'm a fitness freak in a sense. I used to also do weightlifting while I was pregnant. And I think I lifted weights till about, I was 8 months pregnant. I was pretty big, and I kept hearing these comments, and I thought that how much can I keep explaining people? How
Right.
many people can I actually explain to that it's my choice, it's my body, I understand it well, and I know when to take rest, and I know when to take a back seat, and I have support. I have a support system in my husband and my family, and I really don't have much to worry about, and I'm good. You don't have to worry about me. And I decided that only if I continue to do what I'm doing, is the best answer that I can give them. And there are only so many people who actually come up to you face to face and tell you that, or leave a comment on your social media. But there are so many others who are thinking it in their heads and talking about it amongst themselves. And not just for me, I also feel that I am still somebody who has a voice, a little bit of a voice. But there are so many mothers out there, so many women out there who don't have a voice, or don't know how to voice their opinions.
Right.
So I feel that if I can set an example for others out there, even if a single person out there, if that can happen, then why not? So that's what kept me motivated all the time.
I think that's commendable, Chavi. In fact, you'll be surprised to know there are people who have read the book and who pinged me specifically on your story. They were like,
Oh,
we've seen her on screen and it's just so motivational to read it in paper too. So totally, you not only just have a small voice, I think you have a very relevant voice which reaches out to million people and can really bring
thank
that
you
change.
so much, Nishtha. That means a lot to me, because really that's something that I really.
So you are an entrepreneur with SIT and with being woman with Shavi. Have you faced any explicit or unconscious gender biases in your journey as an entrepreneur?
So I'll tell you. I'll start with the time I was not an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
You always tend to see these things when you're dealing with carpenters or plumbers or electricians, when they come to your house to do some work, and when you're trying to tell them something, they sort of don't look at you, and they look at the man and feel that, oh, he will know better, let me talk to him.
Right.
Okay, it still happens. And when I became an entrepreneur and when I started SIT, I thought that, okay, maybe those people are probably, they've been brought up in a different way, and it's difficult for them to understand that women can be equal, and it's
Mhm.
not the same anymore. But when I started going for meetings, this is obviously pre-COVID, when we had meetings face to face, and I would try to say something in a meeting, I got the same glances from so many men who would not look at me, just bypass me as if I don't exist. And whatever I said, they would address the question to my husband. And
Mhm.
it took me a while to understand, why are they doing that? Did I say something wrong? Did it not make sense? And I would, like you said, how we've been brought up, and we always end up second guessing ourselves. And I'm thinking, did I make a mistake? But then I realized that at some point I just have to be assertive about what I'm saying, and they will listen to me. And
That's
even as a woman, I feel that every time and I am an aggressive woman, when I get aggressive, I think I get more eyeballs than my husband does, because they feel, अरे इतना क्यों aggressive हो रही है, ठीक है, relax, it's okay. So
right.
that sort of thing still happens, but I've learned how to sort of, I also bypass those looks, and I just come straight to the point, and I just say what I have to say till the time they listen. But thankfully, over the years, now people have realized my role in my company, and I feel that my voice has better weightage now than it had earlier. But I wish that women didn't have to make so much of an effort in the
Yeah.
first place to be heard.
I think that's true, and that is my endeavor with even awakening the rainmaker somewhere, that I'm trying to bring about all those stories out to the people so that they know that even the young girls and women who have these ambitions and who are facing these challenges don't feel like they are the one-offs. they
Yeah,
they should know that even successful women like you or the other women who have interviewed in the book, even they have faced those challenges and they have overcome those, and
overcome them.
even
Right.
even they can pursue their passions. So related to this, Chavi, another question that comes to my mind is like, of course you have very clear views on things, the way you structure your content, be it on SIT or on being woman with Chavi. It's very progressive, and there have been times where you have been trolled as well, but I see that you really you very confidently call out that behavior. So what gives you the strength? Because again, most women struggle with being assertive, and that said, the same thing that you said, and there again, because that stereotype is there in their mind, that they feel, especially in the corporate world, we expect women to be more participative in nature. So even when they're being assertive, they feel like, oh, will I come across as aggressive, and will this spoil my, image or my camaraderie with folks around? So how do you balance it? And what would be your advice to women be like, how do they really get that assertive demeanor out there?
Yeah, I think it's very important in no matter what profession you're in or what kind of family structure you're in or what kind of social structure you're in. The most important is that you're yourself. And I think the biggest struggle for all of us today, especially in the age of social media, is to be ourselves. I mean, you always want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You want to be politically correct. And so many times nowadays, even politically, I feel that our voices are curbed so much.
Hmm.
But I for one wait for somebody to troll me. Like you troll me, and I'll tell you what I want to say. I mean, it's an opportunity for me because I
Right.
know that whatever this person is saying to me, there are a lot of other people who are saying it to a lot of other women who don't have a voice, and I want to just say it out there without thinking about who's going to troll me further on what I have to say because these are my views, and I have the right to speak my views. And most importantly, I have the right to be myself. And that's what I want to tell everybody. So if somebody's saying something to you, if you want to say something back to them, say it. If you don't want to say anything, don't say it. But don't forget to be yourself. Don't change yourself just because you feel, oh, like my daughter, she's small and children at this age, she's 9 years old, children at this age, are just beginning to understand peer pressure. So they feel every time she wears something, she feels, oh, what are people going to say? Is it looking nice? Are they going to praise me? And that's the only thing I even try to tell her even today that just be yourself. Do you feel comfortable in it? If you feel comfortable in it, just wear it and go. That's the most important. And that's exactly how it is with trolls. They are more often than not people who don't have a face. Firstly, you will never see a face to a troll profile.
Right.
They don't have a face. Imagine how much they're hiding behind their walls. And imagine
Hmm.
how desperate they are to be who they are.
Right.
So I sort of, you know, I always send out a peace prayer to these people, and I feel that may God give them more strength to come out as who they are and stop trolling other people, and tell
Right.
them how to respect other people for who they are. So
Right.
that's the only thing. I mean, it's an
I think
opportunity. Just grab it.
no, I think that's very important. I think the main takeaway for me, even from this, is just be yourself. That's very
Yeah.
important. Have the courage to be yourself. So, Chavi, moving on to the next one, you've done so much work over the years, starting as an actor, YouTuber, these channels, SIT, Being Woman. So, were there other, stakeholders or other influencers in your career journey? Are there people other than you who've helped you or who have affected your career journey? Like, let's say Mohit, since he's your husband and co-founder, what role he has played, or maybe media people, some other colleagues. How would you say that these influencers have affected your career, or what role they play in it?
So I think Mohit has a very important role to play in it because I think at some point everybody needs that support system in your life, and he's that for me. So he's like I said earlier, we're literally sharing all the workload 50-50. That makes
Right,
a hell of a lot of difference. It's not that anything is one person's responsibility. So he's always there, and also I learn a lot from him because I think he's very calm and he's very um, relaxed and he does not panic very easily. And unlike me, he's not aggressive. He knows how to handle situations non-aggressively. So, there's a lot that I learned from him. And also he backs me up. He understands me the way I am and he accepts me for who I am, which is the most important thing for me. Like I said, you should have the courage to be yourself. It's also important to have people around you who accept you the way you are in your worst times and in your best times equally. And he
right.
does that for me. So that gives me a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to be who I am.
Yeah, I think that's very important. And in fact, this relates so well to something I call the power punch framework in Awakening the Rainmaker, wherein I say, more often than not, women are told that you need to be multitasking divas when, maybe when you're becoming mothers and you really need to learn to manage things. But we never ask that you can expect help from people around you as well. Even they have certain responsibilities towards you as a woman, so that you can also pursue your passions. The way you said that Mohit is that support for you as a husband and as a co-founder, sharing that load with you, so that you as a team can perform much better. Similarly, that's what I draw a parallels in the Power Punch framework in the book as well. That even in corporate India, it's not just a woman's job to really continue with her career uninterrupted. She needs that support from, five influencers, which are the leadership team needs to have a clear vision. The reporting manager needs to be supportive and free of biases. Your peers and juniors have to be respective. And of course, the human resources, which needs to have those strong policies in the organization. And only then, will you make a strong fist and deliver that strong punch towards gender equality. So, like a key takeaway for all the men and women listening out there, if you feel that you're not living your best life professionally, start asking for help and support. Like, question the status quo, and you'll be surprised the kind of change it can bring about in your life. I think that's very important.
Like a few days ago, I had a post, something similar to this, where I had written that it's always difficult for a mother to leave her kids behind when she goes for work, and there's mom guilt. A lot of mothers suffer from mom guilt, and there was a person who commented on that, which really that comment stayed with me, and in fact, I vlogged about it, which is not on air yet. It's going to stream in a few days.
Mhm.
And again, another person that I really want to give my reply to. So the comment was that this is just you justifying
Mhm.
your need to work. And I know so many mothers who quit their jobs and give up their careers to stay home for the kid. And
Mhm.
only if the kid could talk, you would hear him say, "Mama, I need you." And
Correct.
I and all I want to say is that why you as a man, you're a man who are commenting on this post, why you as a man cannot hear your child say, "Papa, I need you too." Why don't
Yeah.
you give up your job and sit at home to tend to the child? Why do you expect, why is it okay for the mother to leave her job? It's expected of her to leave everything and just look after the baby. Why? What are you doing? Why are
Yeah.
you supposed to be the breadwinner of the family? Why can't half the work be done by you and half the parenting be done by you as well? So
Right.
what is this and how do I as a mother change that mindset? I'm going to change that mindset by letting my son know that in the morning I will give you your first meal, but the second meal your father will give you because I go to the gym to work out because I like it. That's my
Right.
time. And
Yeah.
when I go to office, your dad is going to be there. And when he goes to office, I'm going to be there. Some days I'll be shooting, some days he'll be shooting. And some days, it's all the same. Until the time I don't make that effort, how is his generation going to be any different from this generation or the previous one?
What sort of an impact are you trying to create? Like, what's that motivation in your head when you're designing your content?
So see, it's not that we're trying to make an impact. It's not that there is a larger goal that we are trying to achieve. But there are certain rules that we have made for ourselves. There are certain restrictions and limitations that we have drawn for ourselves. We want the content to be healthy. We want it to be family viewing, and we want it to be um purely entertainment, but we also want a little bit of a messaging coming out through every video. We don't want it just comedy and just entertainment, but when you weave entertainment, when you weave a message in the form of an entertainment, it's just received better because you're watching the whole episode and enjoying with it, and you're not anticipating any kind of messaging coming at the end. That is the best way to sort of send across a message. So we whatever Mohit and I believe in, whatever philosophies we believe in, we try to just sort of, you know, put that in a garb of entertainment and put it across. That's all.
And I think that's the best way of getting the message across. Honestly, I'm myself a fan, and I religiously follow your content, and I find it so relatable, especially on SIT too, when you show, a young couple trying to manage a household and dual careers along. It's just brilliant. It's just
Thank you.
brilliant. Okay, so the last question, and then we'll move on to a quick rapid fire too. But the last question before that is, Chavi, now we have so many women, also men and women, and more so women as well, who are trying to look at the digital space to sort of start their career or restart their career. There are many women who are selling or marketing products, or they want to get into content creation, influencer. What would be your advice to them be? Like, how can they really approach being a part of this digital journey in India, which has
So I'm going to answer that in the most gender neutral way possible. Just not just for women, but for everybody out there who wants to be a digital influencer or wants to market a business uh, digitally. I want to say that first thing is please be yourself. Don't ape anybody because there are a lot of other people who would be selling a similar product, or there will be a lot of other people who will be creating similar content. But until and unless your content doesn't come from your heart, it's not going to connect with anybody. You don't try to route it through somebody else's heart and make it look like somebody else's content just because that person's content is relating to you, because that person's content is coming from his heart, he's being himself, so it's connecting with you. So that's exactly what you need to find. You need to find your own pulse, and you need to just develop and start developing from there. That's about it. And second thing that I want to say, that you cannot please everybody. You will have to make a niche for yourself. Like SIT also, we're 2 million on YouTube right now, but there are so many other channels who are so much bigger, you know. So I just want to say that you have to create your own niche. You cannot connect with all the people that are out there. A lot of people connect with us, a lot of other people connect with some other kind of content. Doesn't mean that, oh, this person is there on YouTube connecting with XYZ content, I want to also bring him back to my channel. It's not going to happen like that, because that is just going to confuse me. So whatever you're creating, create a niche for yourself, and you will have that very dedicated community that you build eventually.
I think that's very useful advice, especially on the bit of creating your niche. Like, then you can be true to your work as well. And it
Yeah.
shows, you're right. Once you're passionate about it, it shows in the quality as well.